Welcome to the NWR Virtual Resources Series. My name's Kerry Stevenson. And next we have Polymetals. The ASX code is POL. Joining me today is Alex Hanley. He's the CEO. Now, Polymetals is an Australian mining and exploration company with projects in Guinea in West Africa. And they're going to tell us where they're at, what the latest news is, and why you've got to take a good look at this as an investment opportunity. Alex, good to see you. Over to you to share the story and the latest news.
Cheers, Kerry. Thanks for having us. And we'll just get straight to it. We have quite a lot to go through today generally. So I'll broadly talk through the team, the region and the projects. But I will make special mention to the data generated from our recent drilling program. So this has pointed us into two main strategies, which I'll cover throughout the presentation. But one being targeting the traditional, strategy of primary load at depth, and secondly, the compelling possibility of a near-term cash flow opportunity to fund ongoing exploration activities. So
that's a nice word to hear. Early cash flow generation. Love it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so it's a point of difference currently in the junior exploration scene. So without further ado, we'll just get stuck in. So Polymetals are obviously listed on the ASX 29th of June 2021. So we're just really knocking on the door of 4 months now. Just over 79 million shares on issue, market cap of 10.3 million, and shares currently trading at a discounted price at 13 cents. So a very, very clean capital structure, and the board and management hold 52% of the company. The board and management, so the board is well balanced and dynamic. So the production experience of David Sproul, the chairman, coupled with the extensive exploration expertise of Dr. Chris Johnson, and then furthermore, the addition of the commercial and business acumen of Chris Scrawl brings to the table, and it places Polymetals and shareholders in safe hands. So in the executive management team, myself as the CEO, I've been predominantly focused on capital delivery and capital expenditure and operational management across various industries. Joining me in the exec team is Vince Fayard. So Vince Fayard, he brings a wealth of experience in corporate finance and advisory to the team. So furthermore, to the right there is Agaboo Bar. So Agaboo's been with the project since 2017, formerly worked with TSX listed Cassidy Gold, and continues to maintain relationships with the mines department in country and the local communities. So these relationships have been built and maintained for the last 4 years. We're currently within the final stages of installing a water bore within Alahiné, Mansala. We employ the local community and focus and enjoy working alongside the local community in general. So along with maintaining these relationships on the ground, the projects have been generating data for the last 4 years with multiple testing campaigns across both of our assets. So Polymetals, as I said, listed earlier this year, we got stuck straight into a drilling program. That drilling program was completed in August. That was a 7,300 metre program. And now that we've received and evaluated all the results, we're looking to kick off the next phase and kick off drilling in November. So to give you a bit of a background on Guinea, so Guinea is a very popular gold exploration jurisdiction, and overall a very resource-rich country. Guinea is the second largest producer of bauxite, accounting for about 22% of the world's production. In addition to that, they hold large iron ore reserves. One notable example is the Simandou project. So within the Siguiri Basin, which is as you can see here, tucked up on the top right-hand corner, we are in great company. You can see on the bottom of this page, we share the basin with Predictive Discovery. Kerry, as you know, they've just released a great 3.5 million ounce resource. So a growing 3.5 million ounce resource, and furthermore, Anglo Gold Ashanti sitting 35 k's to our west. So in addition to that, we've got Golden Rim Resources, Nordgold's Lero mine, and London listed Hummingbird. So we're in good company, essentially. The country's regulations were updated in 2011 and continue to attract this foreign investment. From a political standpoint, a good question from investors is the sovereign risk. So there was a recent removal of the president by the military in September. We covered that in one of our announcements. Since that time, Mr. Bevegui has been elected as the interim prime minister until the election, which is forecast next year. So the prime minister and the standing government have maintained their support for the resources industry and declared it open for business. And from what we have experienced with over the last 2 months and my regular calls with the country manager, that's the case in our perspective. Our activities haven't been hampered, and from what I can see from our peers, I believe they're in the same boat. The Polymetals portfolio comprises 2 licenses, Alahiné and Mansala, shown here in the blue on the right-hand side. So totaling about 112 square kilometres. They're strategically located proximal to Anglo Gold Ashanti's exploration licenses. So the Siguiri Basin is largely underexplored, but the licenses, especially within this region, are very tightly held, which promotes I suppose investors as to why that is the case, and I'll give you a good reason for that later in the slides. So our initial focus at Polymetals is to make a major gold discovery. The vision is to become a gold production company, initially obviously focusing on these 2 100% owned licenses within Guinea. So Alahiné Mansala. Alahiné is our most northern tenement. It is by far the most advanced project in the portfolio. We've had 2 soil sampling campaigns, and as you can see here, the entire license hosts substantial gold anomalism. We've completed a phase 1 drilling program and just recently completed the phase 2 program. So the phase 2 program comprised of 7,300 meters of drilling, both in areas A and B, as you can see there. And this targeted the 40 part per billion soil contour in addition to the artisanal workings. So the artisanal workings are littered across both of these licenses. And the importance of the artisanal workings, Kerry, as you can attest, is it shows us and investors that these areas have and continue to produce gold. That's the short answer. So although near surface,
but sorry to interrupt you, Alex. So is that an interruption to some of your work as well, having the artisanal miners on your project, or do you work well together, or do you have to get them off your land? What's the challenge there?
As I've said previously, we work very closely with the Alahiné chief. So he essentially has a jurisdiction over all of the land. We work alongside them, amongst them. Obviously, we stay away from any active artisanal workings, but they give us good indications of what they're finding near surface. They're very helpful in understanding the grade and the process in which they're going through, and how deep they're going to find the gold, Kerry. So in all essence, they're more of a help than a hindrance, funnily enough. So and we're using all the data we can at this stage. So it's working alongside the community. It's helped us to get to the stage where we are today. Okay. So as well as the 2 areas A and B that we've already drilled, it's worth noting the areas shown in the white circles. So these are areas that are never previously drilled, but host 100 part per billion soil anomalies, as well as extensive artisanal workings. So this requires follow-up, and as our exploration team says, these also deserve to be drilled. So, that's where the Alahiné is as a tenement, and just diving into the results from the recent program. There was various broad widths of modest grade material, as you can see here. So, notably 14 meters at 1 gram and 19 meters on near 1 gram from 80 meters. So, what this shows us is an indication of a potential primary source at depth, in addition to the multiple holes that went to air core refusal within very high grade mineralization. So, there remains to be multiple leads open at depth that require step out drilling. So in addition to this style of mineralization, we also have a very compelling opportunity near surface. These very or super high grade values, 96 grams, 51 grams, 34 grams, at surface, as well as obviously an 8 meter interval there of 5 grams. You can see the pan visible supergene gold there on the bottom right hand corner. This visible or coarse gold is very exciting and has prompted further strategy development from the Polymetals team. The coarse gold scenario, if it comes to fruition and when we explore this a little bit further, in a production scenario, as you know, Kerry, coarse gold is very cost effective and very simple with a high recovery rate. So we will evaluate all strategies on their own merits, and we're very excited about both strategies, both at depth and the shallow mineralization styles. So we have both of these strategies, but in addition to that, the mineralized trend, as you can see here, indicates that these are not isolated mineralization styles, and there's a trend forming, and it is obviously reinforced by the artisanal workings and the previous soil geochem. But this spans about 4 kilometers in total strike. So in summary, there's a lot of follow-up work required at Alahiné, and as you can see here with these drill spacings at 500 meter line spacings. There's a lot of infill work to do. There's a lot of step out drilling to do. So we've got a lot ahead of us at Alahiné. At Mansala, Mansala sits south of Alahiné. It's our 48 square kilometre tenement, and 10% of the license hosts that 40 part per billion gold anomalism. So we're seeing the same type of rough order of magnitude of soil sampling gold anomalism, but also the extensive artisanal works here. So the previous multi-element analysis that we've conducted illustrates a suite of pathfinder elements within that northeast quadrant. These pathfinder elements, specifically arsenic, may indicate a nearby primary source. This needs to be investigated, and we'll be looking to commence early 22 with the drill program. So, overall, it's going to be a big year ahead of us. We've got extensive testing scheduled for both licenses, and we'll continue to build on the strong foundations that we've already established here. So. One, obviously, the near surface potential, as we've discussed, and secondly, the further testing of both licenses that haven't been drilled yet in those identified areas, extension drilling to locate that primary lode, and finally an aeromag survey scheduled for early next year. So, very exciting prospects, Kerry. Defined targets, a large work program, and an energetic team. I would encourage everyone to subscribe to the website and take down those contact details if you want to get a hold of them directly, ladies and gentlemen. So if you've got a question, pop it in the Q&A box below. Alex, thanks for that presentation. I guess it's still a little bit early days for you, but you're very confident of finding a gold discovery. Where does that confidence come from? Is it because you've got
that very high grade near surface? What's leading you to say, do you know what, there's a company maker in here?
Kerry, we've been studying this ground since 2017, and we've got no doubt that we will find something. And we're in the early stages, as you said, but the whole region is littered with early stage projects like this one. With PDI, with GMR also located within the Siguiri Basin, and then broader, within West Africa with NWR Resources, Chessa, all these companies, Australian listed, that are making huge discoveries. So it's from a likelihood perspective, it's a possibility, and what we're seeing currently, both from a near surface but also from a depth perspective, the data speaks for itself, and that's what we're really focused on.
I've got a question here which I'll ask you, and then I want to go back to the two strategy angle that you were talking about, two
Sure.
different strategies to actually maximize opportunities. But Michael is asking, have you worked in Guinea before? Well, you've been there since 2017, but I guess you meant before that. What led Polymetals to Guinea as opposed to elsewhere in Africa? And finally, what type of drilling have you done so far? Is it all air core, or what sort of drilling are you doing?
Yeah, yep. So I haven't personally worked in Guinea before. Dave Sproul, he's been working in Guinea and South Africa throughout his career. We've obviously nurtured great relationships in country since 2017. All three of us, myself, Dave, and Dr. Chris Johnson, we will be heading over to Guinea as soon as we can, and we'll hopefully book that in for the next for the end of the year. So I know remote project management. We've got a good resource in Clive Hastings on site, an Australian WA bred geologist. He's our guy on the ground, and he's good at getting things done. So we've got a good team with experience that's varied but transferable. And in terms of why Guinea, Guinea is an upcoming and, as I've said, very underexplored part of West Africa. It has huge upside, and no modern testing techniques have been previously explored within this region. So that's where we come into play, and we're probably early adopters in such. You wouldn't find this type of ground or this type of anomalism anywhere in Australia. Yeah. That's why we're there, and the jurisdiction in which we're operating, it's pretty well established and mature, with a lot of the ASX companies that I've mentioned previously operating within the region. So very comfortable operating there. I enjoy working within Guinea, and excited to see what the next 12 months bring.
And what type of drilling have you done?
The first phase 1 drilling program was an RC program, about 2,400 meters. The phase 2 program was a split with AC/RC, predominantly air core. That's why we could extend the program, which was originally planned for 5,000 meters. We extended that program due to the better than anticipated weathering, and the air core on average got to about 90 meters, which is pretty good. Air core as a method is very cost effective, and we opted for that for better coverage, considering this greater sort of weathering than what we expected. So 4 holes of RC, and the rest of the holes were AC in the last program.
And I think it's important also to note out for those listening at the moment that they only listed in June of 2021, and here we are in October. So they have been getting on with doing the work and doing the drilling and working out what the best strategy is. So I think it's fair to say it's early days. Alex, we're running out of time, but I just want to ask you this question. I note when you did the presentation, you're almost surrounded by Anglo Gold Ashanti. Yep. Have they been having a look at what you're doing and getting a little bit interested? Have to ask the question.
Yeah, no, good question. It's a question that was asked a lot on our IPO roadshow. Anglo are a big fish. I know that our peers within the area are following the story and understanding what we're finding. So I believe a lot of the guys on site at Siguiri, part of the Anglo Gold Ashanti, they're probably having a bit of a sticky beak, that's for sure.
So what should investors look out for over the coming months as you keep growing this deposit? Obviously more drilling, but from an investment point of view, Alex, what do you think the investment thesis is for them right now?
Yeah, well, I think, Kerry, the point of difference here is we're going to find every angle we can. We're investigating all options on their own merits. In the next sort of 12 months, we've got a very, very heavy program commencing in November. So in the near term, investors or shareholders hopefully will look at the upcoming announcements to see what that program specifically entails. And then throughout 2022, there'll be multiple results across different testing methods and different assets. So wide-ranging data and news flow.
And hopefully some of those exciting discovery holes that will turn around and make shareholders smile. Alex Hanley, it's been great to see you again. Thanks for sharing the Polymetal news with us. And we wish you and Dave all the best for the future. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, Kerry. Cheers.